Hi, I'm Julie Fontana, a Higher Education Access Partner for FIA, and today I'm going to be talking about whose information is included on the FAFSA. This is a question that I get often as students are ready to complete the form. The FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid, and it's completely free to complete. When completing the FAFSA, students are applying for federal financial aid. We at FIA use the information from the FAFSA to determine student eligibility for the Pennsylvania State Grant and some other programs that FIA administers. Schools may also use the information on the FAFSA to determine eligibility for the financial aid they award. This may include institutional grants and scholarships. A contributor is a term on the FAFSA, and a contributor is anyone who is asked to provide information on the student's FAFSA. A contributor could be you, the student's spouse if you're married, a biological or adoptive parent, and a step-parent if the student's parent is remarried. The contributors on the FAFSA are determined by your dependency status, your tax filing status, and your marital status. The information provided by contributors will be used to determine eligibility for federal, state, and institutional financial aid. You'll be asked a series of questions on the FAFSA to determine if you are a dependent student or an independent student. If you're a dependent student, you'll report your and your parents' information. If you're an independent student, you will report your own information, and if you're married, your spouse's information as well. Independent students do not have to provide parent information on the FAFSA. So how do you know if you're a dependent student or an independent student? In the personal circumstances section of the FAFSA is where you will find these questions to help determine your dependency status. They're going to ask you, are you 24 years or older? Are you a veteran, or are you currently serving on active duty? Are you in court-ordered legal guardianship with someone other than your parent or step-parent? Are you married? Since the age of 13, were both of your parents deceased? Were you in foster care, or were you a ward of the court? Do you have children or dependents that live with you and receive more than half of their support from you? Are you working on a master's or doctorate program? Are you an emancipated minor? Are you an unaccompanied youth who is homeless or at risk of being homeless? If you answer yes to any of these questions, you are an independent student, and the FAFSA will tell you that, and you'll be able to skip over the parent section of the form. If you answer no to all of the questions, you are considered a dependent student, and the FAFSA will tell you that as well, that you're required to provide parental information on the form. So just to be clear, your dependency status is not based on whether your parents claimed you on their federal tax return. It's based on your answer to these questions. In some instances, the student may answer no to all of the questions, but have unusual circumstances that prevent the student from providing parental information. If you live with a grandparent or another relative or a neighbor, anyone who is not your biological or adoptive parent, you would not report their information on the FAFSA. In those instances, students can answer yes to the question about unusual circumstances and complete and submit the FAFSA without parent information. The FAFSA will be processed and sent to the schools listed. The schools will then reach out to the student and ask the student to provide information and documentation to support their unusual circumstance. So again, if you answer no to all of the questions in the personal circumstances section of the FAFSA, you must report parent information. So which parent's information do you need to report? There is a section on the FAFSA that will ask you questions to help determine which parent needs to report their information on the FAFSA. So that makes it easy to determine which parent you need to use. If your biological or adoptive parents are married, then you will report both parents' information. If your biological or adoptive parents are not married, but they live together, they live in the same household, you must provide both parents' information. What about parents who are divorced or separated? Which parent do you use in that particular situation? And this is a good question, and one that I get a lot. If your parents are divorced or separated, or never married and don't live together, the FAFSA will want you to report information for the parent who provided more financial support to you during the last 12 months. And if that parent is remarried, then step-parents' information would also be included on the form. If your parents are divorced or separated, but still live in the same household, in that case, you will have to report both parents' information because they're living in the same house together. What if both parents provided an equal amount of financial support to you over the last 12 months? Which parent do you need to use? If both parents provided an exact equal amount of financial support during the last 12 months, the parent with the greater income and assets is the parent that would report their information on the FAFSA. And if they're remarried, then step-parents' information is also included. I hope you find this information to be helpful. I wish you the best of luck as you complete your form.